Alright, here again. I'm going to show you guys how to take apart your Ruger p91 DC for cleaning in a very brief but a very efficient and quick way. First things first, lock your slide back by pulling it back and pressing this up. At a certain point, you'll know as soon as you get it. There's a little notch in the front portion here that you slide it up to and it stops it. Anybody that's used this gun knows exactly what they're talking about. Now I'm going to assume that you don't know what you're talking about, and I'm going to show you again. This right here, this is the notch that I'm talking about. You want to slide this portion back to here and push this lever up. Like so. Now once you get to this portion, there is a little hook. If you can see it right there, that little hook thing right there, you want to push that down. So once you push that down, it'll cover up that, and you can see it a little bit like that. Now, when you get to this section, all you have to do is pull this back just a little bit farther. I usually just push my thumb like this. Push it back, and then I'll push my thumb like that. Now, you want to take your trusty flathead screwdriver, stick it in between the frame and this metal thing, and once you got it pulled back to the right spot, you should be able to just pop it out like that. Now, once it's popped out like that, you want to pull it till it clicks. You cannot pull this out. This does not come out. Leave this in. But even if you tried to pull it out, it's still pretty damn hard to pull out, so you're not going to get to that point. Now, I have made this gun safe, just for everybody who's going to criticize me later, before I took this video, so I know that it's safe. There's nothing in here. It's nothing in the chamber, nothing. So, once you get to this portion, you pull the rod out, you've pushed the ejector down. Now what you can do is you can grab it by the top part right here and stick your thumb behind the trigger, not in front of it, and just pull forward. Takes a little bit of force, but just what it is. Now you're left with two parts, an upper and a lower. Now this all has all kinds of crazy moving mechanisms in it. You can see all the ones that move when you start pulling the trigger. I recommend giving those a good clean, good wipe up, lubrication. That's going to keep your trigger pull and your hammer happy. Once you do that and you wipe it all back down, now you're left with this. Now this is a pretty simple portion. You just got to pull this little eye hook thing right here back and push this rod portion to the side, and it should come out like that. Now take this apart, clean it, brush it, do what you got to do with it, get it looking clean and happy. Now once you set that aside, the barrel is the easiest part to take out. All you have to do is tilt it upside down. Now if you tilt it upside down, before you tilt it upside down, it's going to fall out. So just make sure you're not on any surfaces that you don't want to ruin. Now, you can get nice little neat little brushes for these things that work really well. I'm going to show you one. That I usually use. That I like quite a bit. If I can find it in here. Here we go. This little guy gets that barrel really nice and clean. You have to get it to your specific caliber, but it really does get very nicely and well. So, now we're back to this portion. I would focus on cleaning the barrel, making sure that you get all the corrosion and all the now if you do get corrosion in these barrels, you can also get wire brushes, and I thoroughly suggest using, if you do have corrosion, you shouldn't, but if you do, use the bristle brushes in combination with a bore cleaner, and then wipe it out with patches till it's dry, and then bore snake it, and then use this once it's bore snaked, and get it nice and dry, and then re-lubricate it before storing. Now, don't use bore cleaner on the nickel frame because it will cause damage to it. But now you also want to focus on the feed ramp. If this feed ramp right here, this little smooth grooved part where the bullet rides up into the chamber, if this gets gummed up, it will cause jams. So do not let that get gummed up. Now for reassembly, all you have to do is turn this thing upside down so that the barrel is at the top, or at the bottom portion here, and that rod thing is at the top. Face your eye hook portion upwards and insert it into the bottom like that. It should fall right into place. Now when it's sitting in there properly, it should wiggle just a little bit, but not much. Now you want to make sure that this eye hook is facing up. It can go down or up. That's it. You want it up. Then you're going to take your spring with your rod. This little nipple portion right here goes towards the eye hook. So it faces, and it should sit like so with the spring on it. So, but you're going to have to slide it into the top portion of the barrel, or the bottom if you're tilting it up like this. The bottom portion first. And you're going to want to slide it in there, and it's not going to lock into place or anything. It's just going to sit right inside like that. Now once you get it to this portion, you're going to want to get your gun again, lower portion of your gun, and it should literally just slide back on till it locks, like so. Now to get this portion back in, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to same thing, grab the front of the slide and behind the trigger and pull it back and click it in. And once it's clicked in like that, doesn't require much pressure, you're going to want to get the slide locked back again like this, and make sure that your ejector down there is flipped back up before you start using it again. Now I do not recommend sticking your finger down in there, even though I do it sometimes, but just in case this thing did slide forward for whatever reason, that would really, really hurt. So use your trusty flathead screwdriver and just flip it back up, like so. Now once it's back in there, make sure that it's all safe, and function test it too. So close the slide. Now I know this is dry, so I'm going to decock it, and wherever safe and applicable, you can try dry firing just to make sure everything's firing properly. And yeah, that is pretty much your breakdown of a P91 DC for a basic cleaning after shooting. Thank you, and subscribe.